Hi everybody, this is Jordan, and this is the tutorial for how to use hand signals with congregational worship and praise dance. Now, if you're intimidated by, leading dance because of hand signals and not knowing what to do, it's okay. I was intimidated at first, and my first, real experience with hand signals with a large group was very scary because I thought I did it. I was excited. I did the dance. I led it for the first time. I was so excited. And I had a guy come up to me afterwards and said, I know that I've done this dance a lot, but because you spun your hand the opposite way of that particular turn, I got messed up and I turned the wrong way. And it's like, oh. So people rely on you very heavily. That's what I learned as the dance leader. They rely on you so much that they kind of, in some cases, just kind of shut down as far as, what they actually remember. And they'll, watch you and watch what you're going to do, watch your hand signals. But I can guarantee you're not going to get it right 100% of the time because your mind is going to go blank, you're going to get distracted, that kind of thing. I mean, obviously, focus as best you can, but you're gonna fumble sometimes. I've done it so many times I don't even want to think about it. But here are some basic rules as far as having hand signals. One trap to get into as far as using hand signals is to use the same hand signal for several different moves. There's one dance leader I worked with, he, especially for like a Yemenite, and lots of other variations of Yemenites, he had one hand signal and it was this. And I got confused so often. It's like, okay, you need to have a little bit more flamboyancy when doing this particular type of Yemenite versus this type of turn, that kind of thing. And it can be very annoying as someone following another dance leader if you only have one kind of hand signal. So that's the first rule, is have as many hand signals as you possibly can. But I'm going to give you some so that you know just how to create your own hand signals. But hopefully this will be kind of the basis for all the Messianic dance leaders as far as, okay, this hand signal is for this type of move. But the basic formula is have the hand signal be as close to replicating the actual move as possible. So if you're doing a trichosia that is just a regular trichosia, point up with both hands so that before you do the move, as if that hand signal is what it's supposed to look like. Now obviously don't do that move twice, but if you're doing, like say let's do a mime and then a trichosia. So you do a mime and then you do a trichosia point right before you do it. That's kind of how it's supposed to be. So if you have a Yemenite, what do you do for that for, like a hand signal? For in my case, I like to do this, where you point back and to the right, if you're doing a back right Yemenite, and then back left for a Yemenite, and then also be prepared to give up some dance moves to lead properly. In most cases for me, especially with Yemenites, I have to give up like the clap, because if you're doing, let's say I'm doing a full Yemenite sequence where I point back for the right Yemenite, I want to get up there and point for the next one so people know I'm not going into a turn, but I'm going to finish off with the left Yemenite. So if I do the right Yemenite and I point back for the left, that's what you should be doing. And also, make sure you get the hand signal way ahead of time, way before the move even starts. I like to get this hand signal for the next move up about halfway through the previous move. This is where knowing the choreography ahead of time comes into play. Because if you don't know the next move, you won't know what the hand signal, and the dance will stop. So can't have that. So if you're doing, okay, let's just do old friends. So an old friends dance sequence is a trichosia, a mime, coupe, turn, and then another coupe. So I'm going to do the hand signals as if I was leading a dance. Okay, so we're going to count it off just very slow. 3, 4, So 1, then go into a Mayan, coupe, bomb, and then give it like that. So as you saw, with that whole sequence, about halfway through the move, I'm already signaling what the next move is going to be. And especially for the first move, that's like one of the first movement in the song. That's could be the hardest one to find, especially if you don't remember how long the intro is or how many beats there are to it. You can just go, oh wait, I think it starts here. No, it's here. I don't know where it starts, and then you're late. So you just gotta, again, just listen to the song as many times as possible so that it's just ingrained in your brain. And so then your body just kind of gets used to the song so much that your hand signals just come very naturally. So as far as creating hand signals that mimic the dance move, once you know as many dance moves as possible, then it's pretty easy actually to create hand signals that go with it. So like with the box step, where it looks like this, right before you get to that move, like if you're doing on Mayan, right before a box step, you do this, then everybody knows to do a box step, hopefully if they know that dance move. So that's basically all hand signals are. It's just getting the hand signal to look as close to that move as possible without actually doing it, and then getting that hand signal up like at least half a dance move beforehand. That's basically it. And also being willing as a leader to give up some of the hand gestures that everyone else is supposed to be doing. But try not to lose the spirit of the dance too. And don't get frustrated, having to give that up, because as a dance leader, you're kind of sacrificing, part of the dance so that everyone else can do it too. But once you've done that and you realize how much fun everyone else is having, it's well worth the sacrifice. And if, for a side note, if you're leading a large group of people where it's several concentric circles out, bring your hands even higher up. I was one of the shortest dance leaders. I'm 5'2", I think. And so I had to, actually when I was younger, I was like 4'11" when I was first starting to lead dance, so I had to get my hands way up there so people in the back could see me. And that was the most common piece of advice I have, is get your hands up higher. It's like, I can't. And then people were saying I should use stilts, and it's like, okay, so do the best you can. But if you're in a closer, smaller group, you can, bring your hands down like this, but just make sure everybody can see your hand signals too. And don't get too lost in the song that you're not noticing other people having issues, because as a leader, you're supposed to, don't be there to go, oh, hey, you're doing it wrong. It's just it's actually this kind of move, and just try and guide them along. Okay, so I'm going to give some examples as far as hand signals I like to use. So for a trichosia, just a regular trichosia, where it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, the hand signal I like to use is just a double point up with both hands, just like that. For a Mayan, depending on which way I'm going, I like to point either to the left or the right. For a coupe, if you're going to the right or to the left, just point to that direction, especially if the hand is going that way. If you're going down to the right, point down to the right, that kind of thing. Now for turns, that's the weirdest kind of hand signal. So if you're making a right turn, you're gonna turn your hand in the way that you're gonna turn. This may seem very simple, but I got really screwed up on this. So if you're turning to the right, right shoulder, left over right shoulder, turn your arm in the way that you're gonna turn, like that. So if you're doing like a coupe and then you go into a turn just like this, be turning your arm in the way that you're gonna turn. So do it, spin it like that. So just like this. So if you've got a coupe, I'll signal for the coupe. So if you point down for the coupe, and then while you're doing the coupe, get that arm up there if you're going into a turn, and then be spinning your arm already And then if you've got another coupe right afterward, be already pointing down before you're even done with the circle, before you're even done with the turn. So for Yemenite hand signal, I like to point backwards with both hands like this, because there's really no way to signal for a Yemenite gracefully other than this, I think. Some people will do this, but I find this move is a little too close to a box step hand signal, so I just try to keep those separate. So for Yemenite, I like to point back like this, because that's the only move really where you're going back like that. So that's the hand signal for the Yemenite. For a box step, I like to do this, since this is the most common hand signal for a box step, and it's usually the gesture that you make with a box step anyway. So those are just some examples of hand signals, and if you come across other ones like walls, whatever, the hand signals basically are based on what the arms are gonna do. So if you're doing like walls, you're gonna go like this, but kind of emphasize the right side if you're traveling to the right, and point the way that you're gonna go, and have the other arm ready for what the move actually looks like, that kind of thing. So just like that. It's not an exact science. Every leader has their own style, but just make the hand signals as distinct as the moves themselves. If you don't do that, people are going to get lost, and you're the translator, basically. So the hand signals are the translation of the dance you're going to do. You have to be the one translating as fast as possible before they have to say it, before they have to dance that particular move. So that's how you have to think of hand signals. Don't be afraid to come up with your own, but just make sure to make them as distinct as possible. Get the hand signals up way ahead of time. Not too ahead of time, but well enough ahead so that people can be prepared. And don't forget to have fun either. It can be really easy to get caught up and overwhelmed in all the dance moves you have to be leading and that kind of thing, but you can do it, don't worry. And so if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. But until next time, go forth in the dance.